What's up everyone, Patrick here, welcome back. Moving on to another question dealing with circles. So we have to draw each of these regions over here. So notice these are inequalities. So we have x squared plus y squared is less than 100. X squared plus y squared is greater than 64. And then over here, x squared plus y squared is in between 64 and 100. So it's greater than 64, but it's less than 100. So this is a fairly unique question, one that we haven't covered yet. So what I'm first going to do for part A, x squared plus y squared is less than 100. Instead of dealing with the inequality, I'm actually just going to pretend like we're dealing with the circle x squared plus y squared is equal to 100. And notice that this particular circle here, its center is at 0 and 0 because the left side is just x squared plus y squared. And then the radius of this circle is going to be 10 because we know that the right side is always equal to r squared. So if we say r squared is equal to 100, well, square root both sides, square root of 100 is 10. Okay, so if we take this circle and draw it, it's going to look, so we're going to have the center at 0 and 0. And then we're going to have, let me just label these points. It's not the best looking circle, but this is at 0 and 10. This is at 10 and 0. Right, that's one of the x-intercepts. Then the other y-intercept is at 0 and negative 10. And then this here is going to be at negative 10 and 0. Okay, a circle with the center at 0, 0, and then a radius of 10, like that. So that's the circle, x squared plus y squared is equal to 100. But what does it mean when we have this, x squared plus y squared is less than 100? Basically what this means is whenever you have a less than over here, it's going to be the area or the region within the circle. X squared plus y squared is equal to 100. All right, so whenever you have x squared, just in general, plus y squared is less than r squared, this here, it's going to be the area within the circle, x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. And so if we draw it in, it's basically going to be this area over here, right? Not including this circle over here, not including any of these points on the circle. Now, if this was less than or equal to, then it would be this area within plus all the points on that outer circle. But because it was just less than over here, I should have maybe drew it with a different color, but it's going to be the area within this circle over here and not including the points on that outer circle. It's not going to be including those points. So whenever there's a less than sign, it's the area within the circle. Now, whenever you have a greater than sign, it's going to be the area outside the circle, the particular circle that you're working with. Just in general, x squared plus y squared, when you have greater than r squared, it's going to be the area outside of the circle, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So in this particular case, it's the area outside the circle, x squared plus y squared is equal to 64. Okay, and working with x squared plus y squared is equal to 64, what's the radius of this circle going to be? Well, r squared is equal to 64, so the r is just going to be 8, right? The square root of 64 is just 8. So if we draw this over here, draw another circle, we're going to have, the center is still at 0 and 0, right? X squared plus y squared on the left side. Drawing this circle gonna try to make it nicer than the other one. I keep screwing up this, this right side. Anyway, something like that. So in this particular case, this is 0, -8. This is 8 and 0. This is 0 and 8. And then this is -8 and 0, right? A circle with a radius of 8 that's centered at the origin at 0 and 0. So what's the area outside the circle? Well, it's basically going to be all of this area over here. We would just draw this area all outside the circle, and this area would expand infinitely, right? It would go all the way to infinity on all sides of the circle. So basically it's everything besides this and anything within this, right? So it's all the area outside of this circle, okay? Not including the circle, all the points on the circle itself. If it was x squared plus y squared is greater than or equal to 64, it would be all this area plus all these points, okay? But because it's just greater than 64, then it's not including those points that are on the circle. So it's just the area on the outside of the circle. Again, this area, it extends infinitely in all directions. Okay, so that's part B. That's part A. What about part C? Well, part C, notice we're working with both circles, x squared plus y squared equals 64. X squared plus y squared is equal to 100. So what we can do actually in this case is draw both circles. So the first circle, let's draw like that. And then the second circle, which is the first one we were working with, has a larger radius. Let's draw like that. Okay, and then, yeah, let's just label these points again. Why not? So we'll have over here 8 and 0. This would be -8 or 0, -8. And I recommend actually labeling these points within over here and this one without outside of it. And I'll show you why in a sec. Okay, so that's the first, or no, that's the second circle that we worked with, the smaller circle with a radius of 8. And then the larger circle, this would be 0 and 10. This would be 10 and 0. This would be 0, -10. And then this would be -10 and 0. And then we got that larger circle with that larger radius of 10. So the way this is going to look, x squared plus y squared has to be greater than 64. So we know that that is basically the area outside of the smaller circle. So it's all of this area here if we just look at that individually. But then x squared plus y squared is less than 100. We know that if we look at that larger circle, it's going to be this area within that larger circle. And so if we combine the two, it has to be the area outside of the smaller circle, but then the area within the larger one. So it's basically just going to be this area over here, right? If we shade in all around, it's going to be the area between the circles, right? The area that's greater than the smaller circle, not including the points on the smaller circle, but less than, or the area within the larger circle, not including the points on the larger circle. Okay, so if we kind of combine both of these over here, it's going to be the area between the circles. All right, so if you get a question like this, I first recommend dropping the inequality signs and just working with the circle that you're given, x squared plus y squared equals whatever values you're given, plotting it, and then depending on the signs, you're going to be dealing with the area within or the area outside, and then combining, you're going to be dealing with the area in between.